Hey, what's up guys? Major Dangle here with another quick tank review video. And today we'll be dropping down to Tier 7 to look at the American medium tank, the Sherman Easy 8. And as you guys know, I do like to do a little bit of research and history on tanks that I make a video about. And of course, this is a variant of the Sherman, so there is a ton of history on this tank. And we'll just go through a quick history. The M4A3E8 Easy 8 is a prominent variant of the US M4 Sherman medium tank from late World War II, featuring a 76mm high velocity gun and a HVSS suspension system for a smoother ride. Nicknamed E8 for its experimental designation, it offered improved armor, better ground performance, and increased firepower. Manned by a 5-man crew, introduced in December of 1944, just in time for the Battle of the Bulge. It was highly valued for its ability to navigate treacherous winter conditions that bogged down other vehicles. It remained the backbone of the U.S. Armed Forces in Korea, where its 76mm gun proved more than capable of defeating North Korea and the Chinese T-34-85 tanks. Served prominently in World War II, then Korea, and then later used by other nations. And we can pull up Armor Inspector here real quick, and you can see I got a Sherman Easy 8 pointing at our Sherman Easy 8 here, and you can see this tank does not have a lot of armor. The max armor on the turret is in the front at 76mm thick. The hull has 75mm in the front, but most Tier 7s and Tier 8s are going to be able to butter right through this armor. You might get bounces from Tier 6, but for the most part you do have to keep cover by you and keep pretty much your whole tank hit in there, because everywhere is going to be able to be penned on this tank. You might be able to get some stray bounces, but going back to the game, we can look at some of the other stats real quick. This tank offers 1,269 hit points. Again, not a lot of armor. 76mm in the front on the turret, 63 on the sides, 51 on the rear. The hull has 75mm in front, 44mm on the side, and 38mm on the rear. But the gun on this tank is where it's really good, in my opinion. It has a damage per minute of 2,454 hit points, a quick reload time of 3.67 seconds, average penetration for AP rounds is 173mm, APCR rounds 231mm, and HE rounds 50mm. Average damage is 150 hit points for armor piercing rounds, APCR rounds 130 hit points, and HE rounds 180 hit points. And this tank does have an amazing 12 degrees of gun depression, so you can easily poke over almost any ridge in this game and get your shots off and get back below that ridge so you do not get hit. It also has 25 degrees of gun elevation, and it is a pretty quick tank at a top speed of 52 kilometers per hour forward and 18 in reverse. Alright, and we can go to see how I have this tank set up here, and as I always say, there's maybe better ways to set up this tank, but this seems to work for me, so I will stick with it. And going to the camouflages here, you can see that you cannot add a camouflage to this tank. What you see is what you get. And to be honest, I think this tank looks amazing with this camouflage anyways, so I wouldn't want to change it. And we did just have a pretty good battle here on Oasis Palms. And we are top tier this battle. We got a couple extra mediums here on our team that will hopefully help us out over on medium side.
Let's go.
But it looks like our AC Sentinel is probably just going to sit in that tank destroyer spot there. We're calling for help just to try to get some of these other guys over here to help us. You don't really want to go on this side of the map alone. It is a pretty big map. So we spot the Leo there, and we get a nice snapshot into him. And of course this tank has a really good quick reload, so you will be able to get shots off pretty quick. We're going to get another shot into that Leo there. And we're just going to stay right behind this sand dune and keep cover and try not to get hit by any tanks, because again, most tanks are going to be able to butter right through your armor on this tank. Alright, now we spot the Jackson. He does get a shot into us, and we miss our shot into him. But now we're going to use that 12 degrees of gun depression here to get some shots off into this Jackson and not let him hit us again. Again, 12 degrees of gun depression. You're able to poke over almost any ridge in this game and get your shots off. And we do clear the enemy Jackson there. Alright, now this Leo's back in front of us. We're going to get one shot into him. And we do miss that second shot. We are going to push up a little bit, so we do take a shot from him. But we bring him down to 106 health. So he is a one shot now. Can't quite get those last two shots to pen him, but that's alright. We'll get one into that Panther there. And just back up again right behind this sand dune and behind that rock, so they can't get no shots off on us. And now the Leo is going back to the garage, so we don't have to worry about him no more. I'm going to poke out just slightly. And we see an AFK player, so we're going to get a couple shots into him. Alright, that Panther is pushing forward now, so we're going to just keep getting a couple shots into this AFK player for now. You never know, an AFK player could come to life and completely ruin your battle, so sometimes you have to take them out while you can. But we do get a nice clear shot on that KV-1S there, and a clear shot on that Juto. Now all the enemy team has left is the Panther, and we set him on fire and send him back to the garage for our 4th kill of the battle. So we did have 3,105 damage out, 4 tanks destroyed, an Ace Mastery badge, a nice chunk of credits earned, and we were top on the team. So the Sherman Easy 8, I don't remember it ever really being sold in store, and I could be wrong on that. Maybe I just didn't notice that it was being sold, but I do know it was given away / sold in an event not too terribly long ago, maybe a year or two ago, and you were able to choose one of the 3 starter tanks that you would use in the tutorial for Blitz. And I could be wrong, but I think that was the only time this tank was ever given away, so it might be a little bit hard to get it. It is a pretty darn good tank for a tier 7, and I guess I would recommend it if you could get it cheap enough or for free. It's definitely worth it. I would say if it's under 4,000 gold, it's probably well worth it to get your hands on this tank. But I think that's all I have for this episode on the Sherman Easy 8. And thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time.